Anytime you're designing and this prompt comes up when you are trying to insert your beams, and Prota structure brings up this prompt, new beams crossing over other beams. Do you want to split new beams at supporting spans? You should always click yes for this. And here's the reason why I said so. Okay, so let's go to our environment. Okay, all right, so let's assume that let's create another axis. Okay, so we're going to offset this axis to this point. Okay, then let's insert a column. Okay, same column size at this point. Then let's insert our beam. Okay, let's say supposing this beam is going this way. Okay, insert beam going this way along this axis. All right, so you can see the prompt comes up. Okay, so ideally you're supposed to click on yes, because if you click on no, it means your beams will be overlapping, and that's not correct structurally. Your beams are supposed to pass through each other. So what you're supposed to click on is yes. If you click on no, see what there will be a warning sign. It says slab 1s this and okay, slab. So there's a problem here because we have a slab. You're supposed to insert your beam first before the slab, so that's why it's bringing up this one. But this other one says story 1 beam 41 are overlapping. Okay, now this is bringing us, notifying us that the beams are overlapping. Let's say we have a column here. Let's put a column here. This is just an example I want to use. Let's end it here and then insert our beam again. Okay, so take our beam from this point to this point. So the prompt is here. Click on no and see what happens. Now, if you look at this properly, you will notice that this beam 41 is not passing through the other beam. It's rather overlapping. That means it's going over beam 27, which is very, very wrong. It's very wrong. You cannot design like this. So what is supposed to happen ideally is, when you insert your beam, okay, when you insert your beam and the prompt comes up, you're supposed to click on yes. Now Prota structure would break the beam accordingly. Now you will see that this is beam 41. You will see that at this point the beam has been broken in such a way that it passes through this other beam 27, and then at this end it forms a new beam 42, rather than what we had in the first instance. In the first instance, the whole thing was beam 41, meaning the beam overlapped. It went all the way over this one, which is very wrong. Now, an explanation for this is that Prota structure selected this one as the primary beam. And why this one was selected as primary beam is because there are some conditions that needs to be satisfied, like for a beam to be a primary beam, it must have support at both ends, and also it also considers the one that has a shorter span. Yes, this one has a shorter span, while this one was longer when it was overlapping. It's longer, but it will consider more the one that has support at both ends. So if this primary beam, this short one, is having a short span but does not have support at both ends, it will not be considered as a primary beam. The only reason why it was considered as a primary beam is because, yes, number one, it's a short span, and also it has support at both ends. But even if it is a short span but does not have support at both ends, this longer one will be considered a primary beam. A primary beam in the sense that it will be the one to carry the load of this shorter span. But in this case, since this short span satisfies the condition of having supports at both ends, it is now considered a primary beam. That means the longer beam was broken into two to pass through the shorter beam, meaning that this short beam is carrying the load of this one. So that's the correct way it should be. This is structurally correct now, rather than what it was in the first time. So anytime that prompt comes up, always what? Click on yes. Alright, thank you.